Coach, just overall thoughts, I mean, good, bad, what'd you think of this one?
I guess lackluster might be the right word. You know, historically, when guys fumble balls, miss free throws, it's a lack of focus. And I didn't think we came out with much focus. I thought we were just kind of going through the motions. And then when that happens, you don't make free throws and you fumble balls. And we missed 8 layups the first half. 8, not layups, but 8, point blank shots. That's generally a sign of lack of focus.
Is it unfair to expect any team to just roll right from the start against everybody that you play against?
I don't know why it would be. When you put into it what these guys put into it. I mean, you're talking about guys that are here 12 months a year, guys that lift 12 months a year, guys that are in the gym, pretty much every day 12 months a year. Why wouldn't you relish an opportunity to go play a game in front of people that actually counts? Because that's why you lift weights and that's why you spend all that time in the gym. So I don't think so. Used to blame it on finals, Doesn't seem like its finals are near as intense as I remembered that they were.
Online courses.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And then I spent the week worried about, if I had the right combinations when I when I subbed, because I really didn't want ripped on Twitter for not having the right combinations. So that took up a lot of my time this week. Yeah.
Speaking of ripping, how'd that first half technical, was it partly to get you guys going, or was it truly just not happy with what?
He said, like, do you want me to give you a technical? I'm like I've never had one. I mean, if that's supposed to scare me, you really need to come up with another tactic, because I've had enough of those to. You used to be able to get 3 back in the day. I got 2 at Cedarville in the first, I guess it was about the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. And afterwards, I had this kid he's a doctor now. He's a really bright kid. He came over and put his arm around me. He said, I think I've experienced a lot of things in my basketball career, but it's the first time I ever played a game with my coach in foul trouble.
Bob Beadle got a little bit more playing time today. What have you seen out of him from last year's injury to this point?
I think he's fine. I just wanted to see, we keep playing those guys at the end of games, and they get some playing time, but they're, you got 5 guys out there that are all not sure what they're supposed to do. And I just wanted to see him play with some guys that knew what they were doing and see how he would react. And he, pretty much what I thought. He's just, you look at him compared to JC and Dax and Tariq, and it's just he doesn't have the physicality that those guys have. He's quick and he's athletic and he can make shots. He just got to continue to work to get stronger. Gets bumped off the ball, much easier than they do. It's hard to bump those other guys off the ball.
Coach, for a West Virginia kid to be closing in on his 800th win at West Virginia, I know you've never liked to put yourself, in front of the team, but for this kind of moment coming up, is there any way to put into words about where you've come and where you are heading to now?
Well, Tony said if I went 10 more years, I could probably get 1,000. And he asked my wife, said, "You think he can go 10 more years?" She said, "I don't know about him, but I can't." I don't know, Justin. I grew up in Doug Hill, sitting on my grandfather's lap, listening to games on the radio. Like most people my age did. And I never, growing up, I never thought about being a coach. I thought about being a player. Never thought about being a coach. My dad always. I'm the only one in the family that's a coach. My brothers decided to do other things. My sisters decided to do other things, and I think to a large degree because my dad always said, you don't want to do that. And, I never have listened much to my dad, obviously. I don't know. I don't, honest to God, don't think about it. I mean, if you guys wouldn't ask me, I wouldn't even think. It never crosses my mind. And I know that sounds strange, but it's the truth. I don't think about it. The only time I ever know, what's going on every once in a while, when you guys used to do the basketball edition, you remember when y'all did that? Yeah. Now I got you to actually have a sports page. I mean, I beat you to death about having to go to the news to be able to find the sports, or the local. You had to go to local to find sports, and now you can stop doing the basketball thing.
New Year's.
On New Year's? We couldn't find a sponsor? I mean, what's going on? I mean, Dave's got enough money. He can do that. But I wouldn't know. I honestly wouldn't know.
You said you never thought about being a coach if you weren't a coach. Do you have any idea what?
Well, I started out in pre-med, and obviously that was way too much time in the library. And I couldn't get in the gym. And then I went into education, and then actually John Spiker talked me into physical therapy, and so I actually applied at Penn, was accepted at Penn, and then I went up and that was Vietnam. People coming back with stubs and ultrasound, and that was not really what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Thought about being a lawyer. I don't know. I wanted to play basketball. That's really kind of woke up wanting to play basketball and went to bed thinking about playing basketball. And
Coach, can you give your thoughts on Dax? I mean, it didn't take him long coming back to really have a breakout game.
yeah, I mean he's I think gradually getting back into the rhythm, back into shape. We've got some stuff we got to fix in pressure. We weren't very good in pressure today, and they really did a good job, but we didn't do the things that we needed to do or were supposed to do.
Going off the pressure, I mean, you guys, it was I think your first 21 turnovers. Is going back. Is it
22 now. Don't slide us now.
22.
It's 22.
Was it? I mean, going back, do you think lackluster is just a perfect word for that, or it's just not effort?
Yeah, we didn't. We turned them loose too much. We didn't. They did a good job of spreading us, but everybody tries to spread us and make our rotations longer, and we did a bad job of putting them where we needed to put them to make our rotations shorter. It's almost like a battle of wills, and we weren't as good. I mean, 22 turnovers forced, I guess, for most people is pretty good, and for us, it's we're looking at it like we needed some more.
Turn the light on for Watkins.
We had a little vacation this summer. It's one of those. You need to decide if this is what you really want to do. And Bob, it's an amazing thing, and over the years, and guys think they're tired of it until they don't have it, and then all of a sudden, when you don't have it, you start to appreciate what you had a heck of a lot more. And it's not basketball. It is basketball, but it's the camaraderie. It's Yeah, it's the friendships that you develop. I told him the other day. I told the seniors the other day. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday when my career ended, and we had to stay in the dorm. We had to stay in towers. I stayed in towers for 4 years in the same damn room, and I'd go back. Oh, I tell you what, it's like being in prison. But so I'd go back to the room, and automatically you want to go back and change into your gear and get to the gym. And the first couple of days I did. Then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm done. And it just hits you like a ton of bricks. And then I got the opportunity to go to the Sixers, and that's when I had the bike wreck and tore my knee up, but tried to get rehabbed enough to go to the Sixers, but then you get cut from there, and it's the same kind of deal. It's like, what do I do? What do I do with my life? And fortunately, Coach Gardner said, why don't you help me and finish your master's degree, because I had started my master's degree that summer. And so I'm thinking, that's a great deal, get my master's degree paid for. But I didn't know what I was going to do.
Did you lay that on Brandon, the idea that you found out
Yeah.
that the end is...
Well, I think I did, and I think Uncle Bake did a little bit too. That there's just so many things that you miss, that you take for granted when you have them, and then when you don't have them, it's you're kind of you're sort of a lost soul for a while. And I think so. He came back, I think, with so much greater appreciation for the game and everything that comes along with the game.
Almost in a lesser way, like Dax may have done when he couldn't get out there. He wasn't at the end, but
Well, Brandon's not quite as dramatic as Dax. I mean, Dax is like, man, I'll do anything, man, anything to play, until he starts playing again, and then it's like, I thought you were going to do anything. But no, I think the little hiatus was good for Brandon.
How long was the hiatus? How long are we talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know what day it is. You ask me questions I can't answer. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a while. It was an extended deal.
Coach, kind of going off that, is it kind of a fair assessment of Brandon's game now that, you put him in there and, 15 whatever minutes, and then at the end of the day you kind of look down and, maybe he did a little bit more than what it appeared?
I think we've always thought that Brandon had ability. The Marshall game, his freshman year, he's the player of the game. The K-State game here, we wouldn't have won without him. He was so active, rebounded it, blocking shots. I think we all saw glimpses of, but it just seemed like every time that it looked like Brandon was ready to kind of break out of his shell, and that something happened. Kansas State game, that's when he tore his knee. And then he comes back, and then he has mono. And he's never really had a full year. So, and again, I really think, I think everybody at some point in time has taken the game for granted. And, you start taking a game for granted, it has a time to, Billy Hahn says it's that the basketball gods will get you. And it happens, and then when it's taken away from you, then all of a sudden you start to appreciate it more.
Anything else?
I don't know. If I knew how long it was, I would tell you. I have no idea. It was a while.
Reshape the roster if it was past that point, May, June kind of stuff.
It was in the summertime, but I don't know. It was a kind of at the end of the year kind of deal.